When in reality, the solution, in my opinion, is very simple. Keep the trees standing. Protect the people that protect these trees, and that is a lot cheaper. That gives a lot of support to the indigenous people. Respect them, respect the culture.
Hello and welcome to the Conscious Design Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Peterman, and I help turn product ideas into sustainable seven-figure businesses. Join me for another episode where sustainability meets innovation and business savvy. Today, I'm excited to have Fabian and Anna, the founders of Rahua, a plant-powered beauty brand that sources ingredients directly from indigenous communities in the Amazon. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Ian, for having us. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's dive in, and you guys can take turns however you want to answer this. But building a beauty brand takes quite a bit of work. I've worked in the beauty world. What was the start to this? What got you to decide, yeah, we want to do a beauty business and we want to do it in this very ethically sourced way, which is a lot harder than most people try to do?
Yes, I will answer the question. I'll go before we decide to start the company. I am an environmentalist. I am an eco-agent. We start a foundation, eco-agents, before the company with the means to preserve the entire Amazon rainforest, which in itself is an Amazonian task. So I started, I'm a hairdresser. I was working my salon. My wife, Anna, we working together. And then I started going after donors to help me with my work. They love it, but they say, well, it's difficult this year and come back next year when they have the budget and so forth and so forth. We used to work with the hands to make money out of artistry. And, it was difficult to go on a nonprofit, try to raise funds out of stories, out of telling them. So by then, I've been doing work in the Amazon rainforest already for many, many years. And I've been introduced to this fantastic oil from the Rahua nut. And I was already using in my salon for treatments. And then it's been very successful repairing hair, like 1, 2, 3 in 3 seconds. You can put the hair in a microscope and you see rebuilding. So that's one where Anna came
Amazing.
with the idea is, listen, you come every day trying to get funds and nothing happened. And we have this gold oil here. Why don't we start a company based on this? And we can help people. And all we have to do is keep doing hair and that will help you to save the rainforest. What a great idea. And that's why we start the brand out of my salon at that point that I had from a big salon in 46 at Fifth Avenue. I went to another small salon in the Upper East Side with only I work with Anna. We working together doing color and all that sort of things. So that's why we start Rahua, the brand. Now, Anna, please proceed.
So my background is I worked in fashion and trend forecasting. And, when I met Fabian, we met in the hair salon, as all beautiful things for us start. We met in the salon and, he told me about the rainforest and the world there. And eventually I got to visit and to see this beautiful place that is so important for the future. People there that they live in one with nature, they understand nature and how to take care of it so that it will continue and how to use nature in a way that it flourishes for forever. They understand nature. And when I learned about the Rahua oil and I got to experience the powers in my own hair and what it did to transform, I knew it was something special, something that really we wanted to handle with care. So I think for us, before we started the brand, we needed to be sure that we could do this in a way that really respected nature, respected the source, respected the people there, and to really honor nature. And so we decided to start creating this idea for the brand and a company that could take care of the forest for the future and be this kind of new idea of a business model that would be, preservation is built in to what we do. So that's kind of how the origin and the idea of what the brand would be started.
I love that. I love it when ideas like that just come together and then it just makes sense for people, because I'm sure a lot of people are not familiar with this Rahua. Can you talk a little bit like how does it grow? How is it harvested? How does that kind of work? And you mentioned the miraculous hair that it can fix. So what does it do?
Yes, I'll take on this. So this Rahua, not the Rahua oil, has been used in the rainforest for hundreds of years. Even legends come from the Inca princess. Inca princess was named Rahua before the arrival of the Spanish. So this has been something in legends that I heard growing up in my childhood. I'm from Ecuador, but you always think, yeah, right, legend. So until I witnessed it, how they make it, what is called a ritual. It's a real ritual. They start to collect. Men climb the tree, obtain the nuts, and give it to women, and after that they cannot touch it. And the women start processing this on the full moon, and then they have a process that takes about a month. Finally, the oil start coming out of what they do, and that's what is so amazing, because part of this oil, some molecules, the molecular weight is light. So, but not that light that becomes a nanomolecular. So it penetrates in the hair. Dry hair, damaged hair, mistreated hair is very porous and has a negative charge. This Rahua oil has molecules of oil, also small molecules as well, small percentage, and the negative charge on the hair attracts the positive charge of these molecules, so penetrates in the hair without any use of heat, any use of any chemicals, and builds the hair from inside out and closes the cuticle, make the hair shiny, stopping the hair from breaking. So the hair grows faster in a good way, and also does a lot more to the scalp. There's a lot of scientific things that science hasn't coped with it or hasn't discovered. So far, what we know is this amazing for the hair. And the tribe using this for medicinal purpose, but it has to be the way that it's done. And they have different ways to do it. They have some people obtain the oil, they just for obtaining because they use for different things. But the way it's called Rahua is when it has the particular ritual when men climbs the tree, and only women touch this process, and they cannot eat for 24 hours previous to treatment, and then 24 hours after, and that's what gets the power, and they cannot eat. So there's a lot of conditions, the wood and all things that they're not fully understand still for that.
It's what we call, it's a symbiotic process. So you need nature's pristine environment for this to exist. It also, the Rahua trees do not grow and flourish if like these areas where there's roads built or, there any kind of like development. This needs to be in a pristine environment. This is when they have the best chance for success, and they grow very abundantly. So, having pristine nature and a natural environment is important. And that's really when we decided we wanted to do this, is when we knew that we need preservation of nature is required for this to exist. And I think most people would kind of run from that idea as a business. But for us, we wanted an environmental business, and this was perfect.
I find it interesting as we look at these different plants and things that we can gather a useful resource from, and we're finding, at least I seem to be finding more and more people that are like, oh yeah, this is an amazing thing. It produces this great fruit or fiber or something. And by the way, it can't actually grow in a normal, you can't monoculture this, you can't pull it out. There's, I was just talking to a company, they use a specific banana plant, the abaca banana tree, and its fiber is great, but it has to grow in the rainforest. It can't, if you plant it by itself, it dies. And so I think it's interesting that it seems like we're realizing more and more now as we're finding these really cool natural things that they actually have to grow naturally, not in an industrial farm next to a highway. It just does not work. So I think it's great that you're doing this, and I think it's a new kind of model, which I think is great that you're going after and not being afraid of, because I feel like the standard, you're probably very aware in the fashion world, the standard is like, well, it's not easy and cheap, we can't do it.
Yeah, well, and see, I love all of that. See, first of all, nature knows best, I think. And also, when there's not like the normal way of doing something, right? It forces creativity. It forces a new solution. And being something difficult or hard is good, because that's when the muscle starts working, right? And you start thinking about like a real solution and something that can really help people. And what does that look like for the future? That's a good thing.
Yeah. How have you guys, because it's obviously you have to balance, right? Oh, we want to produce a product, but overproduction is also a problem, especially when you're dealing with rainforest. People love to overharvest and just take whatever's there. How have you guys been able to balance, or how do you plan to help balance that to not swing and, overconsume something that's really good and would be ruined?
Yeah, this being the easy part. We always have to follow ancient wisdom. These people have been doing this for a long time. They don't do like a drum full of oil and all that. Each family does liters or a couple gallons, and max they can do 5 each family. And so we accept families that come, and every time we need more, we get more families involved. So that way we manage that, and we pay them handsome prices so they can support their families, they can stay there for a longer time, and they don't have a need to leave the forest. Because one of the biggest problems is in the rainforest, if you want to do work, you have to do humanitarian help. And that is, they have is lack of cash there. There's always oil companies trying to destroy them, overproduction, and people do different things. So that's why we work with them. They produce the way that always been done, and no more, no less. The supply and demand. We need more families involved, and they come from far away with the oil. They get the money, and they're happy that now, since we're doing this for over 16 years, we're seeing kids becoming professionals, becoming lawyers, become engineers. However, under the education there, coming out of the forest, go to fire school, and so all this amazing work, and that's what I've been doing.
Amazing. So how long have you been involved? Like, when did you guys start the company, and how long have you been doing this brand so far?
So we started Rahua in 2008. So doing this before it was the cool thing. and then and Fabian, he was doing work in the rainforest many years before this as well. So I think it's been, a life project. But I think now, it's really exciting to see plant-based being the norm and, being preferred. And really, for us, we wanted to lift the standards in the industry and to show off that plants are superior and they have a lot of answers. And we really, to respect nature is very important.
And this might be a perfect question for you, since you worked in trends before. How have things changed? Like 2008, we're coming up on almost 20 years now. That's only 3 years away. How have things changed for you guys, and what have you seen more recently? Like, are you growing faster? It seems like there would be more interest in products like this now than in 2008. So I guess, how has that journey been? Trend.
Some people call us that OGs. So we've been doing this for a long time. We've been pushing this envelope for a long time. Preservation, keep the trees standing, look for their own information, and protect the indigenous people that at the end of the day is the indigenous people that live in the rainforests of the world. And this is the people that have been holding the fort for hundreds of years, and it's still being attacked. In the case of South America, the invasion of the Spanish, the people run away to protect their lives, and now they're in the rainforest. Now they come the oil company, now comes the plastic, now comes all of that stuff. So people want to do good. However, it's a lot of greenwashing. You probably know, it's a lot of scientists discovering the CO2, the such blah, blah, blah. And, because most of big companies, they don't know how to do this, to be honest. They don't know how to do this. So they hire scientists to deliver whatever they want the people to hear, when in reality, the solution, in my opinion, is very simple. Keep the trees standing. Protect the people that protect these trees, and that is a lot cheaper. That gives a lot of support to the indigenous people. That respect them, respect the culture. A lot of times, no-profit companies goes there and just corrupt them with money, and they think money is going to resolve everything, and without respecting their own culture. So these people, generations, sometimes they get money, they become corrupted, they think the culture is bad, and then becomes war amongst them, and that's the terrible part of it. So when in reality, keep the trees standing. It's easy. A tree, in order to produce or to sequester a certain amount of CO2, something that will make sense, will take about 40 years. a lot of things could happen in 40 years. You can plant a tree now, and in 40 years, they could start working the way that you want. When we have trees that are 100 years old, they produce oxygen, they produce fruit, they produce life. They held all kind of monkeys, During their work, we are able to protect rainforest land. Check this out. I've done the work, and so there's the work. We're protecting land for the amount of 1.6 million acres per year. That's a lot of work. And a simple, small company, as you know, that not many people know about the brand, but with that little that people know, we have done this work. Imagine big companies trying to do this work. That will make a big difference. But of course, it's hard to do because to have the rainforest, you have to respect people with, as they think, inferior culture. And that culture is superior because the planet, human, that's what we're here. During work, I made math the other day, we are saving about 30,000 monkeys without counting the anaconda, the tarantulas, and that sort of thing. Is the future of the food is there. The future of everything is there. Each person each American produces about 16 tons of CO2 per year. 16,000 of CO2 per year. Each sequester about 5 tons per year. But, small company, my wife and I, and a small team to do this work. Imagine if everybody makes conscious of it, respect of the rules, keep the trees standing. The world is changing. We can have cleaner oxygen because, that we just had not long ago because for the reason, for the oxygen, for the, and the stress and all that. So this is how I see the solution, and I would love for you to help me with a lot of people, to keep trees standing. That's the most important part.
They call the Amazon the lung of the world sometimes. And I think it's a pretty apt name. But if you chop it all down, it can't do that anymore. So I think this kind of work and it is super, super important that we figure out how you can benefit everyone.
Yeah.
This is 360, We buy from the indigenous people the oil they produce traditionally. So it's no machines, traditional climate trees and so forth. They're doing this, like I said, for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. So they produce it, they make the money, they make good money, they can send kids to school, they have all this sudden they know, so we can go and sign a document for $1. This class suddenly have a little more power. And also we offer the best ingredients in our products. After seeing how the oil is made and how much work I have put in when we create the brand, we thought it's not fair to beautiful ingredient there and mix it with a bunch of chemicals, which everybody wants to do. So many brands out there, they use like this oil and so forth and throw a bunch of chemicals and just go with the message. So we decide, what? We're going to use this to honor this. The cleansing ingredients available. At that time, I heard about natural products, so I know the brand, that's fine. Later, I realized that everything else was a story. Now, things are progressing. Now, the natural preservation system, we were the first one to come out with a natural preservation system. It's not possible. How are you going to preserve a plant with another plant? They got one of them. But due to the work, due to ancient knowledge, we use Palo Santo, antibacterial, antifungal, help us to obtain the visual system. And nowadays, for the last 10 years, it's already a natural preservation system with plants. So all of that. So that's how plants of this world. Plants has spirit, and we have.
Hey, it's your host, Ian. I'm really glad you're enjoying this episode. I absolutely love highlighting amazing brands and founders for the awesome things they are doing. I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs and businesses like yours turn their boldest ideas into powerful, purpose-driven brands. So if you're serious about building a brand people love, like our guests and clients do, and one that you're proud to stand behind, I invite you to dive a bit deeper with our book, Conscious Design. Inside, you'll discover the exact framework and steps we use to help entrepreneurs like you turn purpose into a powerful, impact-driven brand. A brand that stands out, attracts loyal customers, and drives sustainable growth with social and environmental responsibility woven into its DNA. Grab your copy today. You can find it on our website, consciousdesignhouse.com, or just find the link below in the show notes. Enjoy the rest of the episode, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I think it's funny when you mentioned, being able to preserve things. People have been preserving stuff for a long time. Like
Yeah.
The whole idea of like, oh, it was only instant use doesn't really work.
No.
Like we've been able to preserve things without chemicals, harsh chemicals for a long time. We just forgot because it was cheaper. It became cheaper to use a nasty chemical. So we did that.
And Ian, that's what, and you were asking about with the trends, right? And like when we started, we wanted to create a new trend to be the trend, to be the long, like the new future. Like, so when we created the first like classic shampoo, we preserved with Palo Santo. And it was like this whole kind of new experience of a shampoo. And when we created this, it was like, this is going to be the shampoo now and the shampoo in 20 years from now, you know? So this is something that you're going to need. It's going to deliver, and creating a product that has the purpose, that has the power. It's something that will always deliver the result. And like, this generation's going to love it. This generation's going to need it. This generation's going to fall in love with it. It's just going to be that thing that will grow, and it will be like, you know, serving for many years. Like that's why we create products as well, to keep, you know, lifting the standards and giving you something that you didn't know that plants could give you all that goodness, and you didn't know a shampoo could deliver all of that. It's a transporting experience. It's a therapeutic experience. And then it delivers like the hair results, and then it's taking care of the source, and it's honoring ancient wisdom. And it's a product can be all of that.
And profitable.
And also in terms of nature, is beautiful. If you go under a tree and you have a shade, beautiful. You step on the grass. This is nature. So this will take care instead of, you know, whatever it is they're trying to sell to you and contaminate your body. You know, how many times people say, I started a brand because I had cancer and I was cured and I decided to do this the best for that. We keep on using chemicals that add to the stress, and then with with all the climate out there, people are even more stressed. So people are shortening their lives. They're supposed to have it longer. Now with science, we should do more, but people not taking into consideration nature, and that's what the most important. Nature will give you a long life, happy life. So we need to present the trees standing.
Yeah, long life, happy. Happy is good. You want that. If you're going to live a long time, you want that part as well. Sure. Oh, so you guys have a lot of products. Well, not a ton, but you have more than just one product now. So could you talk a little bit about that journey of like, you started with one product that went well. Obviously you added more, you're still here. How did that go? Like, what have you added over time, and how have you expanded, you know, your product line and what you use, the ingredients?
Yeah. You know, usually a product comes from a need. So we make something like, you know, and that's the best place for it to come from. The elixir was something that was our very first product launch, and it was something that we launched to lift the standard of the industry and to lift the standard of the source and the nature source and how important that is. And then this gave the hair health. And then we launched our classic shampoo and conditioner, which was our first. And this really was like, it was game changing, right? Because it was sulfate free, and there was a light lather, and then it had Palo Santo, which is a very unique scent, and not everyone knew it or understood it. So it was like a sophisticated scent. So then we got everybody's hair really healthy and strong with this product. And then people wanted volume. So then we were like looking to ingredients that will from plants that can kind of deliver this in a way that will give people even more, you know, even more than what they're asking. So our voluminous products with lavender and lemongrass and citric juices, it breaks down oils and extends time between shampoos and gives you body and bounce and removes the oiliness. It like does all of these things. And so then our next launch was like hydration, because people were asking for things. And then a lot of times we will find an ingredient like, let's say, achiote extract, which is in our latest, our body care. This ingredient from Amazonia gives this gorgeous glow to the skin. It has these antioxidants, and we were able to develop these formulas that are really powerful and really concentrated and great for sensitive skin, and kind of deliver on all these levels. And like, we got to really play with like achiote and the sacha inchi oil. And so a lot of times the ingredient discoveries will guide these really cool product offerings. So it's a little bit of like being sure you're listening to what the need is, and then creating something that over delivers and that is exciting and it smells like nature, like a transporting experience of nature, which people really enjoy.
You mentioned a few different of your ingredients. Are you able to mostly source from around the Amazon? Is that kind of because you're doing all of the protecting of the rainforest part? Are you sourcing primarily from there?
Our key ingredients are from Amazonia, but we source globally, globally sourced beautiful ingredients all over the world, shea butters in Africa, and there's nature all over. So there's a lot.
It's from over 75 countries, and so also the ingredients has to be checked, needs to be the way that in order to our standards, and the ingredients are from Amazon forest. And also I'm a hairdresser, hairdresser. So I test the process to be easy to work, has healthy, and has to keep the stylist out of danger. Because when chemicals and you use the heat, reverberate all the concoction there, it can. So many hairdressers have left the industry because they become allergic. And all the things. So that has to take care of all them. And
Right.
and
Because they're always touching it.
we're so blessed. Yeah, you always inhaling all day long. And some hairdressers like go have a cigarette on top, and that, believe it or not, sometimes I even clean because, But anyway, so we're blessed because we have clients and we have people that ask us for products. So when people asking, we do more, but we do the research. We do all to make the best product out there. We're slow movers. We are not like big company out there. We put what we need. And now 2025, I feel that we enter the new, we set up this year to hopefully have a 2 million acres protected, and I've been waiting for that time. So but next year with new era, and I foresee, and we're going to be doing a lot of growth because we have to replace all the with a lot of chemicals, with a lot of no protection, just pollution. We plastic number one, which is the only plastic that you can recycle all over the world. But also we pick up plastic in the Galapagos Islands. So along we pick more plastic that we produce. That new, but we move forward because this has to be 360. We're waiting for to come out, plastic from rice, plastic from so forth and so forth, but nothing has an answer yet. Everything is no plastic one goes to the trash. We stick with plastic, and now we're moving more towards glass, as long as they insure.
Right. Well, that having a supply chain involving 75 countries and with the quality level that you have, that is a feat in and of itself. That is a lot. that is a lot of a supply chain to manage. So congrats on that. That's a lot of work to keep that. And you mentioned switching materials to glass. So a lot of people don't do that because of weight. So I'm curious, like how are you handling that, and what made glass worth swapping to or looking at?
Yeah. So, first of all of our formulations are very concentrated. So you get whatever you buy, you get a long life, right? It's not a product that you use quickly. And, so a little goes a long way. And that's really important to our formulas because then also the results are there as well. Plastic usually is for shampoos and conditioners because it, heavy use in the shower. And we're able to move into glass with most of our treatments and a lot of our styling products as well. A lot of our products initially launched with glass, so it's not completely new. We've just been able to move a lot of things into glass. So one of my favorite and one of our greatest selling products is our leave-in treatment, which is a 2-ounce jar, but it's super concentrated. This product you can get like 4 months easily using it daily. So everything, the concentration is really important. So we also have refills of our best-selling and shampoos. So, we're really encouraging our customers to hold onto their package and refill. And I think it's a really great new habit to adapt. And, it becomes almost like a trophy. You're holding onto your bottle and you're waiting for the moment to refill. And I think it's this new habit that more people are taking on, and we're looking to kind of keep improving that experience for our customers too, so that, they can, have a lot of confidence and enjoy their shampoo routine.
Yeah, I love that idea. And it's definitely the refill. I mean, it used to be a thing, right? Well, if you go back far enough, refill was the norm. And now I feel it's definitely coming back pretty strongly. So it's great. It's great that you're doing that as well, because I feel like, yes, it was kind of hard to start doing that at first just because people weren't used to it. They're used to just throwing it away and grabbing a new container. But as the habit, it seems, and I've talked to soap companies and kitchen, all this stuff in the kitchen that gets bottled and thrown away. It's slowly, it seems like over the last few years, there's been this trend of people getting it now more easily. So the habit, I feel like, at least in the US, the cultural habit of refill is finally on a smoother upward swing than the bumpy start it was a few years ago. Yeah.
And I think it's also kind of reframing what is luxury, or what is a luxury experience? Well, a luxury experience is buying something you can hold on to, and you can treasure it, and you can reuse it and replenish it. And, I think that's, it's just how you frame it, and a new way to look at it. And I think the younger generations too are also embracing this more and are more in tune to that. And, it's the way forward.
Yeah, I love what you said about reframing and the luxury part. And I think that is part of that story, right? Of having value to it, because nobody values a plastic bottle, right? And that's part of it is when you get it, you're like, even if it was refillable, it's still plastic. Like it has we don't value it because of what it is. Whereas when you move to something glass, then I don't know what it is about. It's like, maybe it's because it's heavier. Maybe maybe it's because we've used glass for so long as a speed. Like every glass has been made pretty much on every continent for a long time, right? So I feel like there's more value to it. So that probably to that luxury story, it makes sense. It makes sense when you have something like that to go, yeah, this is more luxurious. This is nicer.
And what's even more luxurious is when your bottle is preserving an acre of the rainforest every year. That's the true luxury, is the jungles out there. We have oxygen to breathe. This is the luxury. And I think that really is the whole point, is reframing what is luxury. We have this beautiful day to wake up to. We have a healthy planet to live in. Like that, those are the true beautiful things in the world. Yeah.
Tying that story, right? Because it is easy. I'm sitting here in my house. I'm not near the Amazon. Yeah. I don't see it. I don't. Hey. I see blue skies. Like they're right there. Everything is fine. So helping to tie that in to your daily activity and go, yes, you have this thing and it's doing this good thing, but it's something you can actually look at and be reminded. If you know the story, you can be reminded of it every time. You go, oh yes, that's right. I'm doing that.
Absolutely.
So it's tying it into your actual daily life.
Yeah, if you can't go to the jungle, bring down the jungle to your shower with Rahua. That's good.
Yes, imagine you're showering under a waterfall. This is the idea.
Oh, awesome. Well, before we wrap up here, I'd love to talk about you mentioned glass packaging, but I would love to talk about what you guys are looking at down the road. You've been doing this a while. You're still in business. You're doing great. What do you see, or what are you planning for in the next few years? Products or just things that you're looking to do?
We're planning to have a need to every time we make the new formula, clean it in better situation. Because sometimes when ingredients are natural at the end, but the history of the process So follow the name of the brand and hopefully have showers in the world using a product. So each bottle presents 1 acre. So imagine how many bottles we have to do in order to preserve the entire Amazon rainforest. That's my thinking.
We're going to go deeper and do what we do best. Hair care is definitely our focus. And the more people that know Rahua are going to help to do greater work in the rainforest. And so the goal is rainforest preservation. That's the ultimate goal of Rahua and our company. So everything is aligned in that direction. So more eyes and more people knowing about Rahua is where we're at right now.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So for people that are watching, listening, all of that good stuff, where can people find you and what's the best way to reach out if they're interested in being more involved? Rainforest, product, whatever it is, helping your guys' mission.
Absolutely. So you can find us on rahua.com. You can find your Rahua routine. You can find us on social media at Rahua Beauty and reach out to our team if you want to get more involved there. But we are super excited for you to know Rahua if you don't already. It's game-changing, hair-changing, game-changing, life-changing for me. And we're really, really grateful and really proud of Rahua.
Well, I love it. Your story is great. I love talking with people like you that have been doing it for a while. You did it before it was cool, which I think is so important to point out. Like, people were doing it.
We made it cool.
You actually helped make it cool. So
yeah.
Everyone else, say thank you. you guys helped to make it cool, which is great. I think it's so important to be able to do that and step forward and go, I'm going to make it cool, even though nobody thinks it is right now. And so I love that you guys have been able to do that and you've been able to make such a huge impact both in the Amazon and, I'm sure many people's hair is very happy because of what you've done.
Very important.
Absolutely. So yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on this show and thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Ian. Really appreciate it. And thank you to the Amazon rainforest and all the people that we work with there. It's really, it's a beautiful place. And we're all lucky.
And that wraps up another episode of the Conscious Design Podcast. If today's episode inspired you to bring your product idea to life and turn it into a sustainable 7-figure business, visit petermanfirm.com or click the link below. Your ideas have the power to change the world, and we're here to help make that happen. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you on the next episode.